Africa decide. So it's very interesting to me to see which way SKT go. They're against Mowgli and Aiming, so of course there's a lot less competitive games to draw information from, and they'll ban the Sejuani. So
that's what Mowgli's been spamming in solo queue at the moment.
Will SKT get Xayah Rakan? Well, we see a Kalista pick here into it. There's lots of different things that can happen on the Rift here. The first pick is not certain when you have a lot of power available.
Yeah, I feel like Galio's standing out as the first pick, and Afrika are going to hover it here. But I feel if SKT then answer with Kalista Rakan,
then Xayah something. It's not going to be on the same level.
But they do deny the Xayah almost completely from that pick, and the Varus is already banned away. They are going to prioritize the jungle, though, as the Skarner comes in for Blossom.
We'll see what SKT want to do here. They'll take the Kalista, so they seem happy to give up Xayah Rakan if that's what Afrika want. Getting the Skarner is a pretty fearsome weapon. We saw Blossom and even Peanuts' first game on this champion very recently has jumped up the priority in Korea, so it looks like a pick comp being put together by SKT. Afrika Freaks. Xayah Rakan expected here, but they're taking a lot of time to consider their options.
Yeah, I feel like Xayah Rakan's a bit of a no-brainer at this point. It's funny, though, considering the fact that Kramer was the resident Xayah player for this team and was actually fantastic on the pitch.
And I actually don't agree that it was necessarily completely mindless here, because there's a lot of different ways you can approach this draft. With the Galio, I guess you're priced in. You don't need to take a mid laner in this round and be denied there. But it's what they set up for earlier. They'll feel like they got a bonus to get the Galio and the Xayah Rakan. But SKT have left a lot open. Could even pick a top laner here and start banning against. But I imagine mid lane to answer the Galio is the way they're going to look. They don't have the Azir. Corki will be the farm lane. And they will go for the Corki. So some scaling coming through in the mid lane for Faker.
Yeah, I also like the Corki matchup into the Galio as well. Feels pretty free. You can get to those two items pretty fast without too much of a hiccup. But Afrika will have a lot of tools to work around the map.
Be returning Atlas.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I mean, something's got to be able to do damage. You may as well buff up your minions to try and do it. See what is going to happen, because I guess, you know, SKT, they're not too worried about damage. They got the dual threat coming out of the Corki and Kalista, but Afrika, you're exactly right. It's a bit worrying.
For the side of SKT, as this game goes on, their scaling is even better than it might first appear when you see a Corki mid lane is probably going to go into the Cull and try to farm. Consider that in team fights, we know that Cho'Gath fights very well front to back because he just feasts the nearest tank.
Yeah.
You actually take them down much faster, and the value of having multiple tanks against a farmed Cho'Gath goes down. Galio especially is going to have some ability power and a Rod of Ages, and then just get chomped on and will die through all of his damage reduction. So they're looking to fight front to back over time. So how does Afrika win? They need to pile in there. Sion needs to respond first. Very good on the roam in the early game. Galio needs no introduction. This needs to be a pretty proactive game from the side of Afrika. Otherwise, for multiple reasons, I think that SKT have the scaling advantage.
Yeah, you have to look at the mid-game here for Afrika. The team composition does work out extraordinarily well on that sort of 1.5 item spike for the Xayah, I guess. I mean, it's the closest thing you can get to an early game spike, and then you've got the Hero's Entrance, you've got the Let's Bounce to really get things happening, and Sion can just choo-choo train his way in and try and start a fight.
But then the damage falls off a cliff.
Yeah,
so very much, guys, look at the clock, see how much Afrika can do early, and it's with a sub. Spirit's not in the roster. Can they pull it off?
Yep, this is going to be a rough one. KT are free to set up positioning around this Infernal Drake and do so. Mowgli goes down to about half health, as I don't think he'll be able to get a drive-by as this Dragon has been pulled out. He's actually going for it, though, as in goes Toussaint, but the Devour right there. Hero's Entrance comes down as well, and he steals it! Mowgli, in his debut, going to be able to pick that one up, and Blossom immediately falls down. Afrika might actually have found the team fight that they're looking for. They grab one kill and the Dragon, so definitely good news, and this is when... Yeah, not too
You'll have to accept that you're likely to be pulled in.
Yep, if you're a Sion, a Zac, or a Galio, you're pretty happy to be pulled into the back line. Lane and line are really screwing with both of us today, by the way.
And Aiming definitely did some nice damage onto the Cho'Gath, and that's a flash down on Cho.
Yeah, so QSS be damned, he still does some damage.
It's such a tense moment. You outlined it a couple of minutes ago. It will not change. The Infernal will probably be the side of a fight. For now, Afrika healing around the Baron. They are clumped up.
Well, they're looking to try and go in on Blossom to start this one off, but Tucson gets the quickness into the back line, and that's going to be Kuro heroically entering and picking up the first kill of the fight. Actually, the second as Wolf. The Catfish had already fallen, and no time is wasted. Mowgli slingshotting himself onto the purple worm, and Afrika looking to put the first few nails into this coffin.
And it was such a great 1-2 punch where they blew the flash of the Cho'Gath, and they even had positioning on the hero's entrance behind the front line of SKT. They zoned so well, they controlled space so well, and Afrika richly deserved the 26-minute Baron.
Oh, absolutely outstanding. Let's have a look at it again.
Remember that Cho'Gath is out of position. The Rakan goes into the backline at the same time the hero's entrance is used deceptively early to zone space. Bang and Faker both have to get out of the fight instantly.
Pick out here is the unstoppable onslaught. Cowards. Makes his exit.
Cowardly exit, but a strong one.
Yep, could be in trouble, but he is actually going to use the Impale onto Mowgli. He doesn't actually care, he's just going to pop out, aiming, flashing over the wall to pick up these kills, and Wolf going to get credit to the face. Mowgli heading in. Stretch Armstrong going to pick up a whole host of CC, and he doesn't even go down to the Bloblets. Afrika are team fighting out of their minds today.
And unfortunately, Skarner is just allowing there to be positioning on a Galio ultimate every time, trying to gap close the Zac to his team. Unfortunately, his entrance comes in, aiming confident enough to flash over the wall, aiming a trainee of SK Telecom T1 in previous seasons on the practice team. Gets the unlikely start against his old organization, having a great start, and there is going to be the inhibitor turret broken at 29 minutes.
Absolutely incredible. 29 minutes is about sort of the end of the timing where you're going to feel strong as this comp, but now that they have a lead like this, it's just closing this one out. But let's have a look at it again. Why grab the Zac?
He was looking for just any target. He would have got the call to initiate, but unfortunately for him, positioning great for Kuro. By the time Skarner gets out, he's on low health. Aiming does have the balls to flash over and gets the profit as well as multiple members go down. Untard is caught in the strike with subs in the roster, 2 subs based on their earlier roster. Looking for the pick onto Mowgli, might just be caught.
Yeah, Wolf is going to devour him, but the hero's entrance comes down, and Afrika Freaks, this is exactly what they wanted. Untara, he's going to get kidnapped straight into the back line, and Keen picks up the kill. Tucson goes down very low, but that was all orchestrated by the Afrika Freaks.
And another fight where Faker and Bang basically do no damage because their front line is just completely evaporated. Blossom looking for the steal. I don't think he's going to get it.
He's going to get onslaughted as Keen is just going to get him out of here. And the Baron falls very, very easily. Afrika Freaks, this has honestly just been a beautiful lesson in how to play around power spikes and how to play around exactly when you want to be fighting. Their orchestration of team fights and their execution has just been phenomenal.
Yeah, we're going to see the replay here. They think they have the pick onto Mowgli, but by the time Faker and Blossom join, we've seen this so many times. Zac first controlling space, then the hero's entrance, and Faker and Bang, they can only walk one direction. It's away after a couple to do no damage to Zac Galio-Sire.
Yeah, and Bang actually went for the extended teamfight style build as well when that hasn't been what he's been able to get into. In goes Tucson, the quickness is there, everyone's evaporating. Wolf, I'm not even sure he was in the fight beforehand. He started off dead as a Featherstorm. He's going to lock down a triple kill for aiming. He's looking for a quadra, but he's actually not going to join in on this one. He wants to win the game. He's got his eyes on the prize. And Afrika Freaks, 13-0 in the kills. This is a slaughter.
Aiming is just killing people where they stand instantly with all his damage amps. They're going to go for the close, and there's nothing Bang can do.
Absolutely not. As soon as the Xayah gets in here, it's going to be all she wrote, and there goes the Nexus. Afrika Freaks continue their domination of SKT in a glorious Game 1. Man, the SKT fans really starting to scratch their heads in the audience here, Papa Smithy, because Afrika Freaks really had a schooling in that game.
They pulled the execution when they needed to flawlessly, and Bang especially could only watch. Kalista ended the game. 0 kills, 0 deaths, 0 assists. There was nothing she could do. The damage numbers will not be impressive because the execution on the teamfight made it impossible for SKT to focus down a tank, chomp him down, silence him, and make it 5v4. It was 5v4 the way of Afrika before Cho'Gath could even get his rupture going.
Yep, and if that game had have lasted, you know, say 15 minutes longer, 10 minutes longer, something like that, maybe you'd start talking about SKT finding their way back in, but It just wasn't the case. Afrika never leaving that door open more than an inch, and when they did, it was because they wanted to.
And the irony shouldn't be lost that SKT just